Thank you everyone for joining us for this presentation. We are here with Mark Spillane from Princess Cruises, and he's going to give us a whole load of information about Princess Cruises. And go ahead and take it away, Mark.
Thank you so much, Camilla, and thank you all for joining me this evening. Really excited to be here to share an overview of the latest and greatest, all the exciting information here at Princess. As Camilla mentioned, my name is Mark Spillane. I have the pleasure of working with the amazing team at cruise.com and really enjoy the amazing relationship we have with everyone over at cruise.com. And so I've spent many years in the cruise industry, a few years with a sister brand, but most excitingly, now part of the Princess team. Princess really was launched with the Love Boat. So we, of course, are the Love brand. And first I'll start with a video and then we'll take it from there.
Welcome on board the Love Boat.
Love, exciting and new. I'm aboard. I've been expecting you. The Love Boat.
Soon I'll be making another run.
It's a love. Welcome aboard. It's love. Yeah.
So the Princess experience really covers everything from onboard to shoreside. We have our wonderful timeless cruise experience with our beautiful ships, including the new Sun Princess, which launched last year, and the Star Princess, which we are very excited to welcome to our fleet in October. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. With our exceptional dining, our wonderful onboard service and amenities, paired perfectly with global itineraries over 300 places, of course, also being #1 in Alaska, which I will go over as well. Our outstanding service that we have on board from the amazing team members. They really are like family, and they do an absolutely wonderful job serving all of our guests on board. And the really great value that we offer between our cruises, our cruise tours, and then, of course, our Princess Plus and Premier packages to really make your experience more inclusive and really just a step above the typical cruise experience. We are the destination leader, and I'll talk about many of our destinations throughout this presentation, hoping to pique your interest on where you want to go next with Princess. And starting up with Alaska, of course, we are #1 in Alaska. We bring more guests to Alaska than any other cruise line. And I do like to say we don't just travel to Alaska, we live there too. We have many of our Princess colleagues live in Alaska year-round. Those that are working on our 5 lodges that we own and operate up in Alaska, and even some of our commercial team members live there in Alaska. So it really is not just a destination for us, it is a home. And it shows as we have won many awards over the years. Best cruise line in Alaska at multiple different magazines and travel magazines. Travel Weekly 21 times overall, Travel Age West 4 years in a row, and the Travi Awards 7 times. And that just, I really like to mention those because it's really third-party endorsements. These are voted on by our guests, by our travel partners, and really goes to show the amazing product that we offer up in Alaska. And no matter how you want to see Alaska, we have you covered. Maybe you've already been on an Alaska cruise, but you want to go back and go deeper exploring with one of our cruise tours where you do a 7-night voyage from Vancouver to Whittier, the port city of Anchorage, and then take our exclusive Princess Rail service to one of our Denali area lodges and continue on with a 4 or 5, all the way up to 8-day land packages that you can combine. Or if you want to do our round trip voyages conveniently located out of Seattle, Vancouver, and a few other home ports that I'll mention in a few moments. And then we also have the wonderful Inside Passage cruises. If you haven't sailed through the Inside Passage, it's a beautiful scenery to sail through. Our wonderful lodges, we do have 5 different lodges up in Alaska. And you can see them denoted here on the map with the red star. So for our cruise tour packages, you have your one-way cruise where you can get on in Vancouver and end in Whittier, or you can do the opposite. You can get on in Whittier and end in Vancouver. And this is perfectly paired with a land tour program. And so you can spend, we have over 25 different packages that you can choose from in varying lengths and what they're included, but all of them include a stay at one of our 2 Denali area lodges, and of course a tour into Denali National Park. And the cruise portion also includes Glacier Bay National Park. So all of our cruise tours include both Glacier Bay and Denali. And then just depending on the individual package that you book will be the other experiences that you can see and do in this beautiful area. And we even have some cruise tours where you can see up to 5 national parks between Glacier Bay, Tundra Wilderness tour that is included in most of our cruise tour packages. Also going into Glacier Bay, the Kenai Fjords National Park. We have the Kennecott Explorer Tour into Wrangell St. Elias National Park, and then of course Klondike Gold Rush National Historical Park in Skagway. So for those of you that really enjoy the historical parks, national parks, this is a wonderful destination to explore. And then we have our Inside Passage voyages, as I mentioned. These are conveniently round-trip voyages from Seattle and Vancouver for 7 nights, but we do have longer voyages all the way up to 22 days, and those depart from San Francisco and Los Angeles. You still get a day of scenic glacier cruising at Glacier Bay or Endicott Arm. You'll cruise the Inside Passage and, of course, visit some of those wonderful ports in Southeast Alaska. So looking at one of our Vancouver round trip Inside Passage voyages, we still have some space available for later this summer, but also, of course, we are open for the 2026 summer voyages. So if you're looking to plan ahead, which you'll have similar itineraries, beautiful scenic cruising through the Inside Passage, visiting Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, and of course, Glacier Bay National Park before returning to Vancouver. We offer similar itineraries out of Seattle, which include an additional port call in Victoria. And then we have our 7-day voyage of the Glaciers. So these are the one-way voyages that I previously mentioned between Vancouver and Whittier. These are really fantastic voyages because you get 2 glacier viewing experiences. So in addition to Glacier Bay National Park on every one of these voyages, you also have a visit to Hubbard Glacier or College Fjord, depending on the itinerary. So you get extra day of glacier viewing, and then of course, the wonderful ports of call in Ketchikan, Juneau, and Skagway. And then you can see highlighted in yellow is just that additional sailing part of this voyage of the glaciers that ends up in Whittier. And these are the voyages that you pair on your cruise tour package. You'll get right on the train from the port in Whittier, and you'll be carried away on the beautiful Princess rail service that we have. There's meals available on board. There's all of the cars are domed in glass, so you have wonderful views. And of course, there is narration as you're traveling from the port into our Denali area lodges. And what's really exciting for Alaska next year is our brand new ship, the Star Princess, will be up in Alaska. So she is currently finishing construction. She will launch in October. Following that launch in November, she will sail into Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale for the winter season, where she'll do some wonderful Caribbean cruises. And then she will work her way up to Alaska for the 2026 Alaska season. So we will have our newest Princess vessel with all of our amazing restaurants, the 1,500 balconies, 21 decks, really showcasing one of the most beautiful destinations that Princess sails to. She also has our Sanctuary collection, which is our ship within a ship concept. And that debuted on the Sun Princess last year. where those guests that book into the Sanctuary Collection cabins, so we have some balconies, mini suites, and suites as part of this collection. You have the Sanctuary Club, the private lounge, private pool area, private restaurant, and of course it comes with our Princess Premier inclusive package. And the Star Princess will be doing a 7-day round trip Seattle inside passage voyages, convenient Sunday departures. And this, of course, will include the wonderful ports of Ketchikan, Juneau, and Skagway, of course, with a stop in Victoria, and a wonderful day exploring Endicott Arm and Dawes Glacier. And on board the ship, if you haven't been with Princess to Alaska, we have some wonderfully immersive experiences. If you've gone to Alaska and you've done one of the excursions to the sled dog camps, you may have seen the puppies. We do a thing called Puppies in the Piazza, and the Piazza is the central atrium part of our ship, and we'll bring some of the puppies and the trainers onto the ship for you all to interact with. We, of course, have our national park rangers that come on board and do the narration for those glacier viewing days. We have a junior parks ranger for the kids that are sailing on board. We'll have axe throwing. We'll have seafood, of course, in the main restaurants, but also pop-up like crab shacks with drinks. So a wonderful way that even when you're on board the ship, you're being immersed into the Alaska experience. Moving over to Europe, which is another big destination for us at Princess. Of course, we've been awarded Best Cruise Line in Europe as well. And there are so many different itineraries and too many different ports of call to highlight. But just to give you an overview, anything from the Greek Isles with voyages out of Athens, wonderful voyages out of Rome for Italy and the Adriatic, including Dubrovnik, Kotor, Corfu, so wonderful itineraries there. Of course, we have Italy and Barcelona over for Spain, and Portugal itineraries, sailing up to the UK, Ireland, Scotland, even into Northern Europe for some wonderful Norwegian fjord cruises. And also even over to Iceland. Iceland's a fantastic destination. I was there a couple of years ago myself, and it's a wonderful destination to explore by cruise. So you get to see some one of the most northern places that we explore with our ships here at Princess, and some beautiful scenery in that region. We really show you the best of Europe, depending on where you want to explore. From the Mediterranean, many of the beautiful ancient ruins and historical sites, Renaissance gems, combined with sun-kissed beaches, and of course, my favorite part of traveling, the food and wine experiences. Over to the British Isles to explore the iconic castles, the royal landmarks, music, lively pubs, charming countrysides. Moving into Northern Europe with the medieval towns, the Viking heritage, the stunning fjords of Norway, and the remote landscapes like Iceland and Greenland. Coming back home, we have quite a few number of home ports where, if you're not looking to fly overseas, we sail, of course, our largest deployment out of Fort Lauderdale during the winter season, and that includes both our Sun Princess, our Star Princess. We have voyages 7 days, 10 days, 12 days, 14 days, and even longer that I'll highlight as well. Last year, we started our inaugural sailings out of Port Canaveral, and that's a winter deployment. So that starts typically in the fall around October, November timeframe, sailing through March. And we'll have 7 to 14 day voyages sailing out of Port Canaveral. Up into New York and Boston, we sail seasonally as well for the beautiful Canada-New England voyages. Those take place typically in September and October for some wonderful fall foliage voyages into the Northeast, into Canada. Some voyages are round trip New York. Others may be one-way voyages from Boston to Quebec or the reverse. We also are sailing one more season out of Galveston. So we have a ship returning to Galveston this upcoming winter. So in the October through March timeframe, and those will be Western Caribbean voyages. We also, of course, have ships on the West Coast out of Los Angeles for some Mexican Riviera, Hawaii, and of course, those longer voyages up to Alaska, and then San Francisco, Seattle, and Vancouver. Port Canaveral, as I mentioned, November through April deployment, wonderful itineraries to the Eastern and Western Caribbean. And for the 25-26 season, we have the beautiful Sky Princess that will be sailing out of Port Canaveral. And just a couple of sample itineraries so that you can see what is being offered. We have 6-day voyages that include the Turks and Caicos, as well as San Juan and Nassau in the Bahamas. So a wonderful Eastern Caribbean itinerary. And then we have our 8-day Western Caribbean with Mexico, visiting Cozumel, Costa Maya, Belize, and Roatan. So a really wonderful way to explore Mexico and the Central America region. And we're really excited to be returning to San Juan. So we're returning to San Juan this year, home porting for the first time in over a decade. We have 7-day sailings, visiting 5 islands on most of the 7-day itineraries. And these are popular Southern Caribbean islands like Barbados, one of my favorite destinations in the Caribbean, to Martinique, Dominica, St. Kitts, and there's many more that we sail to. So it just depends on the voyage that you select, which ports of call you will have. But from St. Thomas, Tortola, doing the baths there are wonderful, St. Croix, St. Martin, of course, with the airplanes flying in over the beach there, in Maho Beach, down to St. Lucia, Barbados, Grenada. So wonderful area to explore, Southern Caribbean round trip from San Juan. And of course, we all know it's very easy to fly into San Juan, especially if you're in Florida, but to many other destinations along the East Coast as well. And being, of course, an American territory, you don't have to worry about passports. However, always highly recommend that you travel with a passport. And just to share a couple more of these itineraries, we have another 7-day itinerary this November, and all of these are on the beautiful Grand Princess. This one will get you St. Thomas, St. Martin, Antigua, Martinique, and Barbados before returning back to San Juan. But as I mentioned earlier, we have multiple 7-day voyages that are different, so you can combine them for a very immersive Southern Caribbean 14-day voyage, round trip San Juan. This is on the Grand Princess for this 25-26 season, and then for 27, it'll be the Crown Princess. Looking at a few other of our US ports, we have, of course, San Francisco, where we're doing 16-day Hawaiian Islands itineraries. I love these itineraries if you have the time. Of course, with all those relaxing sea days going to and from Hawaii, with a busy few days spent exploring places like Maui, Honolulu, Hilo, and many other great destinations here in Hawaii, with more late night calls. So you have the time to fully explore this region while we're there. And then we have some great Panama Canal voyages as well, sailing between Los Angeles and Fort Lauderdale. Now, these are a little bit longer at 16 days, but really it's nothing's more iconic than sailing through the beautiful Panama Canal, combined with some beautiful ports like Aruba, one of my other favorite Southern Caribbean islands that we visit. We also do some great 10 and 12-day itineraries round trip out of Fort Lauderdale that go to the Panama Canal as well. So if you have a little bit of less time to travel, we do have shorter voyages if you're interested in seeing this beautiful destination. And then if you have a lot of time, one of my bucket list itineraries I'd love to do one day is one of our grand or world voyages. Here we have our Circle Pacific 2026 World Cruise, over 60 destinations, including Australia and New Zealand, Hawaii, the South Pacific, Asia and Japan, Alaska, the Pacific Coast, and the Panama Canal. And there's 2 voyage options, 131 days round, actually one way from Fort Lauderdale to Los Angeles. Or you can do round trip Los Angeles for 115 days, which just cuts off that red segment from Fort Lauderdale to Los Angeles through the Panama Canal, visiting some iconic places in the South Pacific, Tahiti, sailing on down to New Zealand, Australia, up to the Southeast Asia, of course, China, Japan, really truly bucket list destinations. And speaking of Japan, we of course have our Diamond Princess located in Japan, which will soon be joined by Sapphire Princess next year. So we'll have two ships over in Asia doing Japan and Asia itineraries. But just one to focus on here, we have this beautiful 11-day Japan Explorer Spring Flowers itinerary. This is round trip Tokyo, the Yokohama cruise port, March 28th, 2026, perfect time for the cherry blossoms. And this includes a late night call that'll give us an opportunity to visit Mount Fuji. And it also combines with our 11-day Circle Japan voyage for a wonderfully immersive 22-day itinerary. So we have some great voyages over in Japan and Asia. If you haven't been, I highly recommend exploring this region with us. And then bringing it back closer to home, Fort Lauderdale, our largest port for our Caribbean deployment. We have over 120 departures to Caribbean and Panama Canal, 5 to 20 days. Actually, we have with Star Princess coming over in November, we even have a 3-day voyage. So if you're interested in seeing Star Princess for a little taste, we have a 3-day voyage in November. Of course, this also includes our Sun Princess will be out of Fort Lauderdale, joining her new sister Star. We have the Caribbean Princess, the Emerald Princess, Enchanted, Island, Majestic, Ruby, Sapphire, and Sky Princess doing voyages of 5 to 20 days out of Fort Lauderdale. Now, as I mentioned earlier, on the new Sun Princess and of course the new Star Princess, we have our Sanctuary collection. And I'm going to share a little bit about that with a quick video, and then I will share a little bit more about the Sanctuary collection. I always love that video. I'm hoping to join either Sun or Star Princess in November to experience these wonderful amenities. But just to kind of go over the Sanctuary collection, these are our new premium stateroom categories. And as I mentioned, we have some that are balcony category, we have some that are mini suites, and then of course our full suites. This is only on Sun and Star Princess. These are exclusive access and bespoke amenities included. This appeals to our luxury travelers out there, and I know that sometimes the word luxury kind of seems a bit pretentious or unreachable. It's really about inclusivity and really just taking your experience to the next level. And as I mentioned, it's our ship within a ship concept. Some of the benefits for Sanctuary Collection are best staterooms with bespoke amenities and the club experiences. We have, of course, access to the Sanctuary Club on Deck 18. We have an exclusive dining room and our Reserve Collection restaurant for guests in the Sanctuary Collection, and our Princess Premier package to bring all those inclusive items together. Suites enjoy all added amenities to a booking, including our signature suite lounge. We also, here's the breakdown so you can see, we have all of our suites. There's about 80 of them. That's part of the Sanctuary collection. We have our Sanctuary mini suites, which is about 123 staterooms. and then 12 staterooms that are deluxe balconies, part of our sanctuary collection. So I know sometimes you have to book into a suite on other ships to get into their ship within a ship concept, but I'm really excited that while it's a limited number, we do have some balconies that you can book into, or if you're traveling with family or friends, and some want to be in balconies, some in suites, it's a great way to accommodate all those who are traveling. And just a little bit about the Sanctuary Club. This is our open deck venue with panoramic views, private pool and jacuzzi areas. There's 8 premium cabanas, social spaces. There's a luxurious bar area exclusive to our sanctuary guests. Now, this is adults only, 16 plus. It is curated, also provides curated entertainment programming with music and events, crafted wellness programs, and an elevated food and beverage offering. So a really fantastic new Princess offering that again started with Sun Princess and is also available on Star. For those of you that are in Florida and are looking to sail out of our wonderful ports like Port Canaveral up in outside Orlando, or closer to us in South Florida in Fort Lauderdale, we do have a great partnership with Brightline called Rail and Sail. So this is ideal for cruisers, of course, in and around Florida. You can get on the Brightline if you're up near Orlando Airport. There, you can check in your luggage for your cruise. All of that will be taken care of, and then you can ride the Brightline down to Fort Lauderdale and get on your cruise. You can also do that in reverse if you're looking to go up to Orlando. As I mentioned, a relaxing way to start your journey. There's luxurious rail cars with Wi-Fi and upgrade packages available. And it really is just more of a seamless way if you don't feel like driving on some of our wonderful Florida roads getting between these ports. And just kind of an overview, I know I talked about some of these destinations like Japan, Asia, South Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, some of our longer world and grand cruises. But we also have some great deployment down in South America. Having spent quite a few trips down to South America myself, I absolutely love this region, whether you're exploring the East Coast of South America or the West Coast of South America. The things that you can experience from the culture and the food and the history, and then some beautiful scenery. We're doing some voyages next year that sail through the Beagle Channel down at the southern tip of Argentina. I've sailed through that channel myself. It's absolutely stunning with the fjords and the mountains. So wonderful place to sail. And then even sailing down to Antarctica. We have a few voyages that sail down there for about 4 days of scenic sailing in and around Antarctica, which I've done as well. Really, probably the most beautiful place I've seen on this planet. It doesn't even feel like you're on Earth anymore when you're down there. The wildlife is abundant, from the whales and the seals and the penguins. So we have wonderful itineraries to go down there as well. And of course, all of this is done on our modern ships with the Princess Medallion. If you haven't been on board with the Princess Medallion, it is think of it like an Apple AirTag, or it's about the size of a quarter. And it really replaces your room key. So when you walk up to your room, it identifies that it's you and it'll unlock so you can walk right into your cabin. So you don't have to fumble if you have stuff in your hands for your room key. But it also allows us to really personalize your experience. You can order food and drinks right to wherever you are throughout the ship, whether you're in your cabin or you're by the pool. The team will be able to find you by the Medallion and bring that order to you. It also allows our staff on board to know if you have a favorite drink or something like that. They can always ensure that they have that ready for you. And there's many other great features of the Princess Medallion that we have on board our vessels. And just to wrap it up with a couple of promotions, it really is the best time to book Princess right now. We have a current offer, which provides up to a $400 instant savings. Also, free room upgrades and $99 deposits. And this is running through July the 21st. So just less than a week left on this promotion. It will expire on the 21st, as will those $99 deposits. So it's a great time to lock in, as we will be going back to our standard $250 per person deposits after this promotion is up. And this applies to many of the destinations around the world. So it's not just to one specific destination. But if you're looking or interested in doing one of our wonderful immersive Alaska cruise tours, we do have a promotion that'll give just a little bit more than the previous one. So if you do an Alaska cruise tour, you'll get up to an extra $100 in instant savings. So instead of $400, it provides $500, and then up to $100 additional inshore excursion credit. Also comes with that free room upgrades on the cruise portion. And so it's really a great time to lock in these Alaska cruise tours. We are, of course, selling next year. They are filling up quite fast. So now's a good time to lock in your next year's Alaska cruise tour. As they do tend to sell a bit farther out than some of our other cruise experiences. So with that, I will stop there and just thank you for joining me this evening and allowing me to share a bit about all the new and exciting things we have going on here at Princess Cruises. I appreciate your time. I know how busy you all are, and I really look forward to hopefully seeing you on board a Princess Cruise in the near future. So with that, I'll turn it over to Camilla, and happy to answer any questions or anything I can assist with.
Thank you so much, Mark. Yeah, does anybody have any questions at all?
And of course, if as you're looking, if they come up, you have your wonderful team at cruise.com that can
Of
assist.
course. Of course, if anybody has any questions afterwards, you can just contact me or just call cruise.com and we will go ahead and help you get you on one of these princess ships. Thank you so much, Mark, and thank you everyone for joining us today. It was great having you guys.
Thank you, everyone.